Good evening, and welcome to a meeting of the Council of the City of Long Beach held Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024 at 7 p.m. Bear with me 1 second. We'll have a roll call. Councilmember Bendo is absent. Councilmember Lester.
Here.
Councilmember Reinhardt.
Here.
Vice President Fiamara.
Here.
President Finn.
Here.
Let the record indicate the presence of Acting City Manager Ron Walsh and Corporation Counsel Dennis Cohen. We'll now have a salute to the flag.
Commissioner Walsh is going to lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody, for attending our first meeting up on the dais. Myself, Mike, and Chris. Roy's an old hand at this. So appreciate it. As we start the new year, we have great plans for Long Beach. We think we're going to really do a great job, and we need your help. We need your support. I think we have your support. And now Commissioner Walsh is going to give the city manager's report.
Good evening, everybody. Not much of a city manager's report here tonight, other than I just wanted to make a few personal comments. You know, it's been my honor and my privilege to serve the people of the city of Long Beach. I never expected to be sitting in the seat of city manager, and when I was asked last January to do it, it was for a short period of time until a search was completed, and it turned out to be a year to the day, actually, that I was put in this chair. When I was asked, you know, my personality is just one is always willing to kind of step up and help out, and I truly believe that the past year we've been able to move the city of Long Beach in a positive direction. I mean, a couple of things that just come to mind. There was, you know, we passed a comprehensive plan that was passed. Last time one of those was done was 2008, and that's just to help shape some of the future vision, to give, you know, some guidance, and it was something that was needed in order to get certain grant funding and get accepted for things like that. We had $4.5 million New York Forward money that, you know, we pretty much focused on revitalizing the downtown that's going to be coming in, and a plethora of other things, and you know. Nothing in this city gets done without the workforce and without the men and women who come to work every single day and do the job. And the city of Long Beach, I have to say that the workforce here, it really inspired me every day. They are wonderful people who come to work every day and work hard for a city that they love. And I share that love for this city. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve as your city manager, and I look forward to the future for the city because I believe that the future is very bright. I believe that the right people are in place and are going to be in place to carry the torch forward. Thank you.
On to the regular calendar. Our first item is a resolution appointing a city manager for the city of Long Beach. Do I have any motions at this time?
I'm making a motion to appoint Dan Creighton as the new city manager for the city of Long Beach.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Voting on the motion. Councilmember Lester.
All right, before I vote, I have a statement to make. Before I vote, I have a statement I'd like to read. Welcome, Dan. And you really dress up nicely, I will say. Not used to it. Personally, I'd like to point out that I do not know Dan Creighton, other than a couple of times I've spoken to him in a social environment while he was running on the Republican line 2 years ago. Unfortunately, I have not been given the opportunity to interview him for this position or have seen his resume. I understand the season is busy, but with my flexible schedule, I would have thought something could have been worked out to meet and discuss the position of city manager with him. To my knowledge, Dan has never had a political position or dealt with the municipality in the position you now want to place him in. This is not to say he's not capable, or possibly could be the best thing we ever had. I don't know, but the procedure seems to be indicative of pure partisan decision-making process. The truth is, the City of Long Beach taxpayers paid thousands of dollars for a search firm to find the best qualified city manager to run our city. Over 20 resumes were forwarded to my fellow council members, including numerous ones from prospective candidates with exactly the kind of experience this position calls for. Yet not one single person was called for an interview before deciding on Mr. Creighton. Never once in the campaign did anyone suggest not doing a search, but instead just appointing a party loyalist. It's well known that Mr. Creighton played an important part in the campaign, but I don't think anyone realized, nor was it disclosed, the reward at the end. When his name first came up, I suggested that he be appointed deputy city manager to gain a bit of experience before putting him in on the most important job in the city. That idea was rejected. While I'm disappointed in the process, I'm very hopeful that Mr. Creighton turns out to be wonderful for the city of Long Beach. But I've been doing this for a long time. In my opinion, the city has enough problems that we need absolutely the most qualified and experienced individual running it, and that usually can only be found after an exhaustive search. Not knowing Mr. Creighton, I did some research by looking into comments he made during his few council appearances. Back in October 2021, while running for city council, Mr. Creighton stated, quote, that he, quote, thinks we need to be more aggressive on what we're doing to reduce costs and more aggressive on what we're doing to gain income. An advocate for cost cutting? That was music to my ears. His other comments, too, all seem to support that much-needed fiscal conservatism. As I stated, Dan might turn out to be the best thing since sliced bread, but since I was not afforded the opportunity to interview him, I have nothing more to base that hope on other than some two-year-old campaign speeches. Therefore, for now, I'm going to abstain for voting to hire Mr. Creighton and pray that my fellow councilmen's faith in him proves to be warranted. Welcome aboard, Dan, but I'm abstaining.
Councilmember Reinhardt.
Yes.
Vice President Fiamora.
Yes.
President Finn.
Yes.
Okay.
We already have a comment from the council. Do we have any other comments from the council?
I just want to make a comment. I want to also thank Ron Walsh for stepping into the position of city manager. I know how hard it is, to be both the police commissioner and then the burden of the city manager. It's kind of a thankless job, but I want to thank you for that and everything you've done.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I want to echo Chris's words. Ron, you've been extremely helpful in our transition, and just wanted to thank you personally for what you've done for the city as well.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to say this. Thank you, Commissioner Walsh, for your conscientious efforts and all the endeavors related to the acting city manager's position. Your work ethic is duly noted and appreciated by this council, and I'm sure by the people of Long Beach. You were presented with a difficult task, and you did your best to try to make the city run well, and I appreciate it personally, and thank you very much. But I will say this as well. We have gone through 5 city managers in 5 years, notwithstanding an acting city manager as well. 5 city managers in 5 years, and the last city manager left this month, a year ago, 12 months ago, and it was murky as to what happened. We never could find out. So when we talk about the process, it took 11 months to even start looking at candidates. And by that time, we felt it was time to pick a local person with a great resume, a great background, and great character. So that's what happened, Roy. And I think I explained that to you already personally, but I'm going to do it in front of everybody here. we have a great candidate, and now we have a great city manager.
And I'm praying you're right. I am, and I'd like to join in thanking Mr. Walsh. He did a phenomenal job, and he did two jobs at once, and without it costing us anything. So he actually saved us money. You'll like that, Dan.
Thank you, Commissioner Walsh. Appreciate it. Any comments from the public? Thank you. In the back. Denise.
Good evening, Denise, 436 Ohio, and I like the fact that now you get to say my first name. But I just want to echo all of your thanks to Acting Commissioner Ron Walsh. I happen to have worked with Ron when he was in the Nassau County Police Department, and he was a very dedicated public servant there. He garnered a lot of respect from a lot of the officers that he worked with, and many of us on the legislature also shared that respect for him. You always came through, even when you took over for a while over at the jail, trying to help us out there and everything like that. So you've proven yourself to be a worthy person, somebody that can be respected, and I do respect you. And I know that even as you end your term here, that we will always remain friends. And I will always cherish that we always kept a good rapport between one another. And we always worked well together. You know, whether or not you were police commissioner, you worked in Nassau County, or even here as city manager. So I wish you well in whatever your future endeavors are, you know. And I do want to say I'm very pleased that we now have a city manager, somebody who is from the city, who's lived here, worked here. And I think with his background, he'll be able to prove himself to be a good city leader. And what I like most about it is we didn't have to spend a dime to find him. So that is proving already that we're doing some cost cutting. So I like the fiscal responsibility on the part of this city council. So thank you very much, and I wish all of you a lot of luck as you lead this city. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Yes. Eileen Hessian, I just met you. Well, formally met you. I knew who you were.
Commissioner Walsh, you'll be missed by many people in this city. Thank you for all your service.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Finn, Mr. Fiamara, and Mr. Reinhardt. Congratulations on your election onto the Long Beach City Council. You all work together as a team, and I look forward to seeing this three-man team turn into a five-man team. Unfortunately, I must say I'm very disappointed to see that your very first action after being in office for only one day is choosing a permanent city manager without interviewing other candidates. This feels like nepotism. The following questions would be the same for any candidate selected without vetting. What are Mr. Creighton's qualifications? Has he been vetted by anyone other than the three council members? Did he submit a resume to the council? How many other Long Beach resumes were there? How many resumes did you look at? Was he interviewed by all the council members, including Mr. Bendo and Mr. Lester? I have not seen Mr. Creighton at a city council meeting since 2021 when he ran for the council and lost. He lives in West Home, but I've never seen him at a West Home civic meeting. Is Mr. Creighton getting this job because of cronyism? He is your friend, and you have the 3 votes. In your campaign, you promised transparency, which means an open and honest government. Have you already forgotten this promise? Can you see how this action can look like the opposite of transparency? We all profess to love our city, but choosing someone with no experience in city management is a big mistake, especially when the new majority of the council is made up of new council members who have no experience but do have control of the votes. Why not choose an interim city manager, interview Mr. Creighton and other candidates, and then see who is the best qualified? I wish you luck as you get your feet wet in this new challenging position. Our city deserves good government, and it's disheartening to have to rely on rookies. This was a disappointing start, but I look forward to better things to come. Good luck. I hope that you will answer some of my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your comments, and I believe some of your comments, many of them have some merit. I will address a couple of them. The first thing I already said was that we have gone 11 months and 28 days with an acting city manager. In that time, there was a lot of time to begin the process. Myself, Mike, and Chris got elected on November 7th. We began talking with Roy and John about the process. We discussed it. About a month later, we finally saw some resumes. As far as I know, and John's not here, so he's not here to confirm this, but I think Roy said that you hadn't looked at any of the resumes yet.
No, I never said that. I said you didn't interview. You mean just now, today?
No.
Oh, no,
When you and I talked about it.
you're absolutely right.
Okay.
The resumes had not been forthcoming. And, to be honest, Brendan, you're right about the amount of time it took.
Yeah.
There's no question about
So
it.
it took a very long time to get nothing done. And we looked at the resumes, and we've looked at a few of them. Some of the candidates had some qualifications. One of them had been a city manager in a much smaller city. Some of the others were assistant city managers. And I have to be very honest, some of the resumes just didn't really impress me. Now, you say that Dan Creighton has never been a city manager. No, and I have never been a city council person. But that's the nature of this game. That's the nature of what we do in America. You elect people. We don't want an administrative state. We want regular citizens getting elected to this position so that they can make decisions that were based on opinions and ideas and experience of being a citizen. We don't want an administrative state where we have professional council people. I don't think that's the way we should go. But you make some good points, Eileen, if I can say Eileen, Ms. Hession. You make good points, and I agree with those points. But I think I'm answering a few of them. We waited a whole year, and we had a good guy working hard at the acting city manager, but everyone could see that it was very difficult to be the police commissioner and the acting city manager. In many ways, it worked to his detriment and to some degree the detriment of the city. So it was imperative to try to do this right away. And that's why we're doing it, because we need a person to be the point man and in the position. Now, as far as Dan's resume, I'm not going to read it out to you guys right now, but when we saw it, I got to tell you, I was very, very impressed. Working in the construction field, working with the MTA, it's a combination of private and public work, municipal work. I think he's ideally suited for this role, ideally suited. And his energy, it already has come through in our speaking with him. I know that John Bendo, and I'm not speaking for him, but I know that he knows Dan Creighton as well. So my comments are, we have the right guy for the job, and Long Beach is going to be better off for it. Anybody else want to speak?
Yeah, I just want to start off by saying I respect everybody's opinion. I think everybody should have a voice. I just don't want to start this administration in this new year with that type of us versus them that Long Beach has been for so long, because it's not constructive. If you ever have questions instead of assumptions, this administration, you can ask me directly. I'll speak for myself. If I'm friends with Dan Creighton, and the answer is no. I wasn't friends with Dan Creighton. I've met him a few times. I'm not part of a political party. I ran on this ticket strictly for Long Beach, so he's not part of my political machine or whatever else was inferred to. And how many more times, guys, can we put in another interim city manager? It'd be the same old thing. Efficiency is getting somebody in the job on day one. Just because we're here day one, it doesn't mean we weren't working for the last few months and interviewing people. And like Denise Ford said, who has great experience, it didn't cost us $1 to do it. We hired without using a firm and spending $23,500 for a headhunter. We hired somebody for what ultimately you as the residents hired us to do. We didn't go and hire somebody to do our job. So I don't want to start off with these assumptions and these buzzwords of nepotism and everything else. If there's ever questions like that or people feel that way, openly speak to us. Openly ask me, myself, and I'll always be honest with you. So that being said, I just want to start the tone of things on a positive note for everybody, not ever be up here and it's us versus, the world thing or vice versa. Let's work as citizens together. We're citizens who are up here just trying to do the same things that you guys want. So just
Chris,
keep that in mind.
I have to say, I bet there's not a single person out here who doesn't wish Dan well.
Yeah.
There's not one person out there. And, we're all hoping,
Of course.
that it works out. It would be great if it worked out, You understand my concern with the process.
100%.
I was not involved at all, and that, I guess that bothers me. But everything I know about Dan, I've liked. So please don't think that anybody wishes him that he's not successful.
Fair enough.
James?
Happy New Year from Maple to Nevada, from the Bay to the ocean. You should know that theme already. On your first official city council meeting, I just want to again congratulate you, and to Chris, you may hear that a lot. You will hear some of those words a lot because you guys will do some things that you will do. You're the three majority, and they had their time that they were in charge, but I say work together as much as possible. People elected you to be able to do what you have to do for the city, and I always say, listen, I will vote for whoever I vote for, but when you get in, it's my job to work with whoever I can to get what I can done on behalf of the people and the residents of the city of Long Beach. Mr. Creighton, although I don't know him very well, I know him from town, and whoever is in, I'm going to do my best to work with whoever as a advocate, a community resident, born and live here, 23-year former union member, also vice PAC chair, and also a shop steward. So I bring all of those things with the questions that I have as a resident and as a former worker for the city, to also make sure the city manager that you hire, he sees everybody in our whole city, that everybody has a chance to be at the table, not just blacks, but women and Latino and all that our city encompasses. Will be 8 men here. I don't see any women, so making sure women have their voice, which I know Lauren to make sure her voice is heard loud and clear. She's a tough lady. But I say everyone should have a seat at the table because everyone should be valued. In the last administration, I believe over 30 police officers was hired, not one African-American cop. There's one black police officer and 70-something police officers. In the last administrations, there's more African and more minorities that was fired in the last 2 years that was fired in the history of Long Beach at one time. The statistical data is there. It's no ooh and ah, I know it, So again, within the last 3 years. So there's a lot good that Republicans may have done in the past and a lot of good things that Democrats have done. When you're in there, it's for us to hold you accountable. So I say congratulations to the city manager. One of the things you ran on is saying that we would get the MLK out of eviction court. Well, right now it's still in eviction court and Martin Luther King Day is coming. I hope that something can be done before then because it will be a whole lot of people that promises was made to. And I know some people will get up and speak about how great Martin Luther King was and he had a dream. Well, we still dreaming for you to fulfill some of those obligations, which I do believe you will. So again, to each and every one of you, I thank you and looking forward to working with you. And also, I'm happy to see my Uncle Phil, one of the best police officers ever in the city of Long Beach, and also my dad. Love you, Pop.
Thank you, James. Happy New Year to you. But 1 second, James.
Yes, sir.
So you talk about inclusion.
Yes, sir.
I think there are people on Blackheath Road who want to be included in your Maple to Nevada statement.
It goes almost to Blackheath Road, almost.
But there are people with Blackheath Road addresses, I think, who vote.
Okay, so.
And they've whispered to me that they want to be included in the Maple to the...
All right, so I'll change it up next time. Thank you.
You know I'm just kidding around with you, James, right?
Oh, yeah.
No, good. Thank you. Thank you. John?
Good evening, all. John McQuaid, 573 Magnolia. And first off, congratulations to you three. And I want to congratulate you two for, well, he's not here today, but you two will have 3 great teammates. And you guys are going to be able to run the show together as a team. And what Long Beach did this year was elect a team by a very large majority. So the decision of this council and the wisdom that they give isn't based off of their trust or their persistence. It's based off of the persistence and the will of this city to elect new officials to bring a difference to this city. I understand that you're upset you didn't have a seat at the table, but we haven't had a seat at the table for a very long time, Mr. Lester. And I have to say, it feels good to have some change because that's what the city voted for this year. So I hope that you can speak a little more optimistically on this administration's future because I think not only do you have great city council members, but you have a great person over there, Dan Creighton, who is more than qualified for this role. He's been consulting this administration and has been consulting our party for the last 5 years, and when someone says he hasn't been here since 2021 for a city council meeting, he was the first person I spoke to about this whole entire windmill project. So to say that he hasn't been involved is a lie. So I just wanted to clarify that. We have someone who's an active member of this community, and we have 3 city council members who are going to be the change that we elected. So thank you for your service that you've given us so far, and I wish you 3 good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Any other comments? That's it.
All right. You want to call to a vote for this item out
Yes,
of order?
please, we'll call it to a vote then. Thank you.
So item 1 is a resolution appointing a city manager for the city of Long Beach. Who introduce and move the adoption of this item as amended?
Yes.
Second?
I second it.
Voting, Councilmember Lester.
Abstain.
Councilmember Reinhardt.
Yes.
Vice President Fiamora.
Yes.
President Finn.
Yes.
Item passes.
Thank you, thank you, Commissioner Walsh, very much. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to swear in the new city manager.
Good luck.
Okay, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, state your name,
Daniel Creighton,
residing in the city of Long Beach,
residing in the city of Long Beach,
County of Nassau,
County of Nassau,
State of New York,
State of New York,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Charter and Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach,
the Charter and Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
City Manager
City Manager
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. On to item 2, approval of minutes of prior meeting, December 19th, 2023. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Voting, Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt.
Yes.
Vice President Fiamora.
Yes.
President Finn.
Yes.
Okay, city manager's monthly personnel report has been filed by the city clerk. Who will make a motion to close the meeting?
I will.
Second.
No. Who got that?
Reinhardt.
Beat me to it.
Voting, Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt.
Yes.
Vice President Fiamora.
Yes.
President Finn.
Yes.
Okay.
Kathleen O'Leary?
Kathleen O'Leary, Long Beach. I want to wish everyone on the council Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you as well.
You're welcome. I want to talk about two different subjects today. One is the shot spotter camera in the Stop and Shop lot, and the other is about the Long Beach assisted living facility. I spoke with some employees at Stop and Shop, and they told me that employees were being harassed and assaulted by teenagers in the parking lot. And ever since the shot spotter went up, there's been no activity. And, you know, that shopping center has been the scene of low-level crime for decades. So I feel like it's a very good use of technology on the part of the police department to deter crimes, okay? The other thing I wanted to talk about was I had the opportunity to be an election inspector in the Long Beach assisted living facility. And I was stunned to see that there are no automatic doors in the facility. To get into the facility, you have to open 2 doors manually. To get into physical therapy / day room, you also have to open the door manually. I would say 50% of the people are on walkers, 25% are in wheelchairs, and the rest of them are too sick to come out of their room. So, you know, we didn't have much extra time, but when we did, my partner would get up and open the door for these people. And I would like to suggest some kind of, I would like to see a change where there's handicapped accessible doors. I have no idea who owns it or who runs it, but it really was heartbreaking to me to see these people sick, elderly, and struggling with doors. And I know it's probably was grandfathered in with, because it was an old hotel, but it's just, I don't know, it's not moral. I guess that's what I felt.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know the situation besides what you explained to me, but based on what you say, it's got to be rectified.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you.
Oh, thank you.
Round 2, James Hodge.
Second chance to get blocks right.
Black Keith
To the bed.
to Nevada, from the bay to the ocean.
That never changes.
I'm sorry to all my Black Keith residents, because I did go to Black Keith School. So again, congratulations to you, Mr. City Manager. Again, you served on the zoning board also for many years. And one of the things is, again, affordability. And there was a time where people were trying to do affordable housing in North Park, and it was denied after several times, 3 times. But I know the comprehensive plan is major, and it could have, you know, it could hurt and it could help. It's all on how it's done. Crystal, I would say that one of the greatest historians of North Park is Crystal Lake. Her information is solid, and I don't think that no one has gotten more information and have included North Park in state and federal paperwork besides Crystal Lake. And I ask that you look at some of her emails that every administration have had for over a decade, and some have moved on it and some have not. It's important that every part of the city of Long Beach be a part, not feel a part, but be a part. We are a city together, and our diversity speaks of how great our city is, because everyone lives here and everybody is a part of it. You know, it may be different sections, different parts, but this is our city, and it's our city together. And so you have lived here. You are from, here many, many years. You know each and every street. You voted it and voted against and in for, a lot of different things. And so I ask that even in your hiring process, that you look at diversity. Diversity is very important. When I was an animal warden here, young children used to see me in an animal warden uniform with a badge, and it's the first time that some of them have saw an African American in a badge and a uniform, because the last police officers was hired in 1968 were 2 black police officers, and it was like 3 altogether, and then the next 2 was hired in 2008 after a vigorous fight to hire 2 more black police. So it was 40 years before 2 more officers, and now there's currently 1. 30 officers or more was hired. And I know that there's brackets that they take, and you're not picking no one for color, but you're picking them because they're qualified too. I don't want you to pick black people to be in positions, or anybody to be in a position just because of their color. I want you to pick them because they're qualified and they can, but children replicate what they see. And so I say, please let the city reflect the whole city. Let the staff reflect the diversity of the city, because our children need to see us in these positions also. Thank you and welcome, and thank you, City Council.
Thank you, James. I appreciate your comments on that. I agree. We want qualified candidates. We want it to reflect the diversity of Long Beach. That's exactly what we want. We want Long Beach to be, we want that to happen, yes. So thank you for those comments. And the Blackheath people are very grateful to you too now. Blackheath, right?
Yeah, it's Blackheath.
Okay. That's it.
That's it.
You want to say something?
Just say thank you for coming. Get home safely.
Yeah. I was going to say if you wanted to say something to...
Yeah.
Dan's going to say something.
Okay. So,
Push here, Dan, up here. Push it toward there. Yeah.
so I'd like to start. I'd just like to thank all 5 city council members. I know John's not here, but I do want to thank all of them. Even though Roy may not think that he's ready to put the trust in me, I think I'm here to prove that I'm the right guy for this position, and I hope a year from now we'll come back and we'll say, yeah, that was the right decision, and I can prove to you that we've made some good choices. I also want to thank Ron Walsh. I think he stepped into a very difficult position as acting city manager, and as was said, while maintaining his position as police commissioner. It's difficult. One of those jobs is difficult. Both of them is very difficult. And I think, Ron, the city owes you a debt of gratitude. Thank you for everything that you've done in this time. And I have to say, Ron has been very good at giving me information to help me get up to speed. And he's a consummate gentleman in this process. I was honored to be considered for this position. I really love the city. I think, the fact that they came to me was really an honor for me. I'm very proud that I was given this opportunity. I want to see the city improve. I want to see it improve so that not only me and my wife can live here, but our kids can afford to live here in the future. All of our kids can afford to live here. It's becoming very difficult to live in a city and afford the city. But I look forward to working with this council, all 5 of them. I look forward to working with the incredible workforce that we have here, with our CSEA and other employees in the city. And I want to deliver this council's vision for, as Roy said, reducing costs, increasing revenues, and just making it more efficient in general. I think as a city, we deserve this. I mean, we deserve to have a better run city. Thank you again. Again, I hope I proved to you that I'm the right guy for this position, and I hope next year when we come back here, everybody agrees that I was the right choice. Happy New Year, and thank you again. I don't know if there's much more to be said, but thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. Well said. Happy New Year, everybody. Get home safe. Thanks. We'll see
Happy
you
New
in-
Year, everybody.
next Tuesday, 2 Tuesdays, yeah.
Don't push it.